Alright, so what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So I'm actually filming this on the same day that I'm finishing up the interior bits on the Z. I just figured it would be easier to knock out two birds with one stone. So I'm going to finish opening up this garage, and then we're going to get the Z started, and then I'll show you guys what the issue is that I'm facing. And then basically we're going to try to figure out what the issue is. Hopefully today, maybe within the next couple of days. I don't really have a timeline for this. I have a couple of things that I suspect to be the issue. Top of the list would be the sway bar end links. From what I understand, apparently a lot of Z owners have this issue with a creaking in the back of their car, and it usually ends up being the sway bar end links. So I'm hoping that that's what the issue is, because those are pretty cheap. I think they're like 16 bucks for the pair. Because if not, I know that the shock on that side's blown, and I'm sure the other three are on their way out. But this car was involved in an accident, and it blew the rear right shock. So basically I didn't feel like replacing it, and it drives fine. It doesn't rub or anything. Thanks to my boy, it's a fender roller. I'll drop his IG down here. He rolled and pulled my rear fenders, so I haven't had an issue since. And he got my fitment looking pretty flush. I just need maybe 5 more mil. He pulled it a little farther than I would have liked, but I mean, it's all good. I have extra 5 mils. I just haven't thrown them on yet. And I'm just hoping that adding those won't make it rub, because usually it gets caught on the rear bumper. So I'm gonna set you guys up for a cold start, and then we're gonna get on the road. I need to actually pick up the mail because my sister's birthday is actually this Friday, and the second part of her birthday present's coming in today. So I gotta go pick that up. So this is the perfect opportunity to let you guys hear the creak. It only really creaks getting out of my driveway because the suspension kind of teeter-totters so that I don't scrape. Alright, so hopefully you guys can hear me alright, but it's only been on for like a minute and a half or something like that. I probably cut it short for you guys, but I'm gonna wait until the car warms up, and then we'll be on our way, and I'll let you guys hear the creaking sound that I'm hearing. Hopefully it'll come through, but who knows. Usually it only happens on colder days. It happened yesterday and it was 100 degrees, so hopefully today's the same thing. But I will pick it up once we are leaving the driveway. Alright, so I mean, it's getting up to temp, but the RPMs dropped to 800, so I'm gonna just go ahead and back out of my driveway. And hopefully not hit the car behind me. Oh, this is so much harder to do with one hand. Hopefully that's coming through on camera. It's already creaking. Like, yeah, right there. Okay, I hope that came through on video, but it creaked quite a few times. It just did right now while I was talking, and again. But basically, I don't know if I should be driving like this. Luckily we're in quarantine, I have nowhere to go, but luckily I have the time to go ahead and fix this before college starts again, and that mileage starts rising by 100 miles a day again. So I'm gonna pick up the mail, and then I will get back to you guys once we are back in the garage. All right, so I'm back at the house, and I think what I'm going to do is I'll set you guys up for a time lapse for what I'm going to end up doing, but I'm going to start with, I mean, obviously it's in the problem's in the rear end for sure. So it's either a loose bolt or a worn out bushing. I'm hoping it's on the cheaper side if it is a bushing, but I mean, the arms, you have to replace the arms on this car. You can't replace bushings, which I think's dumb, but whatever. Nissan's got to make their money. I'm going to actually finish last week's video, the interior bit one. I'm going to finish that right now, and then I will go ahead and start with the rear end. Basically just going to loosen the wheels, jack it up, take the wheels off, and then start torquing everything down again. Or cinching it down. I don't remember what the exact torque specs are and everything, but if it's loose, obviously it needs to be tightened. But I'm hoping it really is an end link, because they're $16. But there's a really easy way to check the end links. So once I do an entire bolt check, I will show you guys what the easiest way to check end links is. Yeah. All right, so that was a major bust. I checked over everything. Everything was tight. I even loosened some of the bolts and double checked if they were actually bottomed out on the like the opposing side. And literally every single bolt checks out except for 2 of the bushings. I'll show you which ones they are. This is the driver's side rear. This bushing on the shock strut, or the bottom of the shock, is definitely destroyed. There's a gap and it's cracking. It's mirrored on the other side too. It's probably just a strain from having a coilover system. So I won't go solid because that creates way too much vibration, especially in the suspension. So I don't know if I'll go solid, but I'll probably end up going like some kind of poly on this because I'm pretty sure this one can be replaced. And then the sway bar end links, those ones, they're not supposed to twist like this as easily as they do. I'm guessing these have never been changed. So the rubber seems like totally intact. Here, let me show you guys from the bottom. So the rubber is literally like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the fact that it's not supposed to have this much play. It's supposed to be very stiff and it's not supposed to twirl like this. So like the bolts are both bottomed out and there's literally no other issue down here. I tightened down all of the axle nuts. I did the arms on both sides. These are toe arms and then the camber arms right here. These ones have never been changed, but I checked them anyways. I did all of the brake brackets, or both of the brake brackets, both of the brake caliper bolts on both sides. I did all of these miscellaneous bolts that hold the hub in place. And then I did the shock ones. I don't think I missed anything, but if I did, I'll be sure to link it below. I did like both of the linkages on this side as well for the toe and camber arms. But honestly, there's nothing wrong except for those 4 bushings. I guess 4 bushings. It would be the end links, which are 2, and then the 2 top ones. So I'll probably end up getting those replaced sometime soon. It's not a big deal right now. But it could also be the spacers. So I'm running a 30 millimeter spacer. I don't know if it's written on here somewhere, but this is a 30 millimeter. I'm probably gonna throw another 5 on here just to be super flush. But yeah, I got my quarters rolled and pulled, so as you guys can see how much further it is out from stock. You can see where it humps out like that. But what I was told was it normally catches on this side of the rear bumper. He couldn't really do the rear bumper, so he only did the quarter panel. But honestly, I'm not trying to go any lower or anything. I just want it to look flush and nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and bolt everything back up, and then probably just source replacements for the 2 bushings and the 2 end links. All right, so if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more content. I do content with this Z and all of the other cars we have. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to post other content about those cars, but that's sure to come in the future, especially with the 280Z. That one has a few things that need to be cleared up. I just changed the vacuum lines and it's finally driving correctly, but the air fuel ratio is completely out of whack. So that's something that I have to get an AFR for that, and I have to get an AFR reader, and that's way too much work for me to do. And the Caprice, that one, have to change the timing chain gasket. It's just not sealing right, so I have to pull apart the entire front end again and redo that. Flex, I did that a couple days ago, as you guys saw in the last week's video. But the Miata needs a new rack. The Volkswagen the front end and the entire side needs to be redone. What else is there? The Jeep. Nothing wrong with the Jeep. I think the Jeep just has a cracked windshield, which I'm just gonna leave that one to the professionals. I don't know how to do that. The Z has a cracked windshield too. Let me show you guys. So I was just like going along on the freeway, and bam, right there, it hit, and then it cracked that way, it cracked this way, and it cracked all the way down the windshield. So that means I have to pay another $200 to get another windshield. I have to pay somebody like 50 bucks to replace it, and then I have to buy another banner and another what's it called, like an overlay, I guess, for the banner. That's gonna be what, like $20 for the banner, and then $16 or $17 for the writing. So that's gonna be fun, but I mean, overall, $200-300 project or so. I'm just putting it off because CHP won't pull you over for a crack that small, and it's not spreading. Luckily, it stopped where it is, so I've been able to get away with that. But For this Z, I just need to change suspension, obviously. I mean, the suspension's completely clapped out, and it's way too stiff of a ride. So I want to go with some DR Series BC Racing coilovers. So it's digressive, which means like the rebound and the compression and rebound, I think is what they're called. They're completely different to the BR series. The BR series is more like a track style coilover from what I understand. So the DS should be more comfortable for daily driving. I don't track this car. I drive this car like it's on a racetrack, but it's really, yeah, you guys will see. I'm gonna get a GoPro hopefully one day, and you guys will see. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. As I said, please like and subscribe, share the video if it was helpful in diagnosing you guys' issues. So basically just honestly do a bolt check on the rear, and if everything checks out, it's probably just a worn bushing, a bad hub. I know my hubs aren't bad because I just had them replaced. The hub bearing, my apologies. It's the hub bearing, not the entire hub. So I had those replaced, and I haven't had any issues. My handbrake is a little loose, so I need to go on that side and tighten it. It doesn't crank down on that side like it's supposed to. So I'll probably end up doing that for another video so you guys can see how that goes. I should have probably just done it right now, but it's getting dark and I want to wash the car and wax it. So it's just something that I'm going to put off for a little bit. You guys have a good one, and I will catch you guys in the next video.